Hello and welcome to Zero Chi. This is going to be a different kind of discussion, more like an uncensored rant. Today, I want to talk about humbleness. It's good to be humble, right? Wrong. Everything that you've heard about being humble, throw it out the window. Drop it. Drop everything that you've ever been told about being humble. Drop any ideology that says you need to be humble. The truth is, your humbleness is quite possibly the very thing that's keeping you from reaching your goals. Even when people talk about being humble, it's a very subdued way of being. To be humble is to be docile. To be humble is to be compliant, subordinate, inferior, not confident, not empowered. I propose, instead of being humble and sitting down, you take a stand, you speak up, you recognize your power, and more importantly, you come to know your power. Instead of effacing oneself, how about you empower oneself? How about you know your worth? How about you know exactly what you're capable of? Know that there are no limits to what you can achieve. Know that you can have it all, everything that you desire, and know that you create your reality. There was once a time when I believed being humble was a good thing. I believed it was noble and virtuous. I aspired to be humble. It was a constant reminder in the back of my mind, a guideline that shaped my actions and reactions. I thought humility was an ideal characteristic of a respectable person. But as time went by, as I journeyed through life's twists and turns, my understanding began to shift. We have a tendency to diminish our value and self-worth in order to remain humble. We tend to dim our own light, afraid that if we shine too brightly, we'll be criticized for it. We live in fear of being misinterpreted, singled out, ostracized, canceled, and even degraded or humiliated. This fear subtly dictates our decisions and our actions. It convinces us to play small, to hide our true potential, and to stifle our ambitions. It conditions us to believe that safety lies in conformity, in not rocking the boat. Have you ever had a time when you dimmed your own light? When you hesitated celebrating your own accomplishments? When you tried to blend in to avoid attention? Have you ever chose to just remain humble? Reflect on those moments. How did they make you feel? Were you truly honoring yourself? Or were you betraying a part of who you are? I believe that this humbleness that we've all been taught to embody is a threat to your very existence. It keeps you from living in your truth, from reaching your highest potential. It's a beautifully disguised trap that offers comfort while silently stealing your opportunities to grow, to impact, and to lead. Humility, in its most traditional sense, isn't about peace and respect. It's about suppression. Your humbleness is very dangerous to your very being. Your humbleness is actually disrespectful to the godliness of you, to the God that lives within you. When you drop being humble, you decide to go after everything that you wish to achieve. When you drop being humble, you're confident, you're intelligent, you're emotionally mature. Life isn't about dimming your light. There will be no successful outcome to dimming your light. The act of being humble decreases the joy and the fulfillment that you can get out of any and every experience. Therefore, the act of being humble hinders your journey. It makes it more difficult. It makes it less enjoyable. It takes the fun out of life. And you must remember that there will never be a happy outcome to an unhappy journey. Instead of being humble, you'd be much happier and successful in life if you confidently claim what's yours, if you confidently live in your truth, if you show up authentically and say, "This is who I am. This is what I'm capable of. This is how I choose to live my life. and refuse to dim your light for anyone else, because that's exactly what humbleness is, dimming your light. I think it's important to note that even the very definition of humble is having or showing a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. It is to have a low social, administrative, or political rank. I'll say that again. To be humble is to have or show a modest or low estimate of one's own importance. And if you do not believe in your own importance, if you do not believe and know that you matter, and that what you have to offer this world is significant, if you cannot recognize that you are such a unique being with a gift and a purpose that no one else can fulfill, you will never achieve your goals and live up to your potential. Remember, we get what we expect. In order to fulfill your purpose, you must first believe in yourself. The lack of self-confidence comes from a very dangerous program, a belief system embedded deep within your unconscious mind. And so, all of this relates back to one's sense of self-worth and the need to heal. You have to know who you are, what you're capable of, and what you deserve. You have to dig deep within yourself, acknowledge your self-sabotaging habits, destroy your self-limiting beliefs, and identify the root cause of your pain. Test yourself. Say, I am a uniquely gifted being with the power to manifest all of my desires and create an amazing life. I am God. We are one and the same. I am an open channel with the divine. I am more than enough. I am magnificent. I am healed, healthy, happy, abundant, whole, and at peace. If it's hard for you to say those words, if it triggers you, if it stings even just a little, you have more work to do. Focus on improving your self-esteem, self-confidence, and self-worth. Learn to love yourself. For it's only when you have love for self that you can become all that you're capable of being. So being humble is not anything honorable. Being humble isn't a good thing. Being humble doesn't help you at all. It hinders your progress. Being humble is the last thing you need to be. And that is why I say, stop being humble. Drop it. Forget everything anyone has ever told you about being humble. That's the last thing you need to be. Instead, be empowered. Know the importance of who you are. You don't need to be meek. The definition of meekness is to be submissive. You don't need to be submissive. You don't need to be docile. You don't need to be compliant. You don't need to obey. You need to know the truth of who you are. And you need to live accordingly. There's a difference. You don't need to follow behind anyone else. You need to lead. You need to lead your own life. Some people like to say that everyone can't be leaders. I don't believe that. I believe that there's a leader inside of everyone. The people who say that everyone isn't a leader, some people are just followers, and it's your job to lead those followers. Those ego-based people are part of the problem. They believe they are superior and others are inferior. Those are the people who want to capitalize off of having someone else who is submissive to them. They're hungry for power and control. They're just perpetuating a culture of dominance. Their goal in being dominant is to have someone else worship and serve them and their interests. Those ego-based people are searching for validation in other people. They need it to feed their egos. Without it, they don't know who they are. They have no identity outside of it. And in reality, it shows their insecurities. Because a person who's truly confident and knows the truth of who they are, their capabilities, and their worth, the true self, that person doesn't need validation from anyone else. They don't need to be worshipped, and they don't need to put anyone else down to feel better about themselves. You must have a strong sense of self that does not need to overshadow others, but also refuses to be overshadowed. You have to validate yourself. We all possess a unique gift that's meant to be shared with the world, and the leader inside of you has to be activated in order to do so. I am on a mission to help people find the leader within themselves, to help activate that knowingness that already exists within each and every last one of us, to remind you of who you are, to inspire you to reconnect with your inner being, return to yourself and know thyself. I am here to empower. This world will have you falsely convinced that you are not powerful, that you are not good enough, and that is all a lie. It's a lie that was created just so they can control you. It's easy to control someone who doesn't believe in themselves, or someone who doesn't know their own worth. It's easy to control a person who does not know the extent of their significance. In other words, being humble makes you controllable. Their secret is, they need you to be weak. They can't be successful in their agenda if you find the power within yourself. Don't allow them to win this war. This is a war on consciousness, and that's why there needs to be a conscious revolution. In all honesty, it's not a revolution, it's an evolution. We need to grow. We need to change. We need to drop everything that existed prior, and we need to create a new consciousness. We don't need to rebuild on faulty foundation. We need to create a brand new foundation, one that is built on truth, unity, wholeness, compassion, and love. One that allows every living being on this earth to evolve into the best version of themselves. So today, I invite you to think about the power you've masked under the guise of humility. Imagine what could happen if we all decided to embrace our light fully. What kind of world could we create? This is not just a call to action, it's a call to transformation. A transformation that begins within each of us, right here, right now. Thank you for being here with me today, for taking the first steps towards this crucial evolution. I hope this helped and reached those who are meant to receive this message at this time. Until next time, I love you. Namaste.